My name is Mora. I work at the Academy of Multilingual Immersion Studies as a middle school science and Spanish teacher.
My name is Alma Uribe, and I am a 6th through 8th mathematics, Spanish, and social studies teacher. I work at an immersion studies school, so I get to teach math and Spanish at the same time mixed in.
X minus 3 equals 7. X menos 3 es 7.
As a teacher, I'm responsible for them knowing the content for that year, but it's not just teaching the content. I'm responsible for their well-being, their safety, their ability to understand their progress in their character.
And it's more than just creating this lesson plan. I'm here to prepare them for life. I'm here to be their coach.
I don't think anyone can ever really be ready. You can study many theories about education, but not until you're in that classroom and you have the students that you're going to have for that year is when you can learn.
Every classroom is different. There's not one type of teacher that's just successful. There's no perfect guide to be a teacher. Even training. I feel like every day, just like students are learning, teachers are learning.
Okay. So now that it's plural, because we see las casas, we know that ellas and ellos is a plural. In high school, taking some type of class where you can learn about people from different backgrounds, I think that's really important in being able to do this work. And I also think a language is super important. You want to be able to communicate with others. When you learn about a language, you don't just learn about this is how you say hi or bye. You learn about their customs and about how they live.
It's important to be a student where you're like, okay, I want to be a Spanish teacher. And in order to be the best Spanish teacher, I have to be well-rounded. So just not even one specific language, but if you could get maybe, say, Spanish. Spanish is really connected to Italian. So take Italian at the same time since you already know Spanish and you could learn it faster. Now you're trilingual.
I have a minor in Spanish and I grew up in Chicago speaking Spanish. I never really thought about teaching, but I think having that Spanish background has pushed me to say, yeah, I want to be a Spanish teacher. I want to teach others about my culture and I want to embrace theirs as well.
If you want to teach, you should have a degree in education and specifically say in math or in science. I actually studied Chicano Latino studies and political science. I was able to see what was happening with education and how the gap between minorities and the majority was increasing. And then from that, I said, okay, what do I have to do in order to close that gap? I could be a lawyer, I could be a social worker, but I feel like teaching was the best way to be able to change that. Something I dislike about my job as a teacher would be sometimes seeing the students not care for their future. Sometimes you have parents who are just sending their kids to school without pushing them and making them realize how important education could be.
One thing that I don't really like is things that I can't control. So I have students coming from different places and I don't control what they feel. I can't control their actions. I can motivate, I can try to inspire, but not everyone will be touched by what you say. Not everyone will listen.
Since I was small, I wanted to help and I wanted to change my community. I was actually the assistant coordinator for a summer bridge program. I was able to work with students who came from low-income communities to get their math and English done, so once they started, they weren't behind anymore. I volunteered a lot around the community, so the importance of being bilingual, to be able to communicate with parents who sometimes feel like, I'm not even going to show up to a meeting because I can't communicate with the teacher. There's so many things that helped me become a better teacher now.
I think teaching Spanish has helped me teach science because I'm able to bring things from different cultures. And so my students, even though some aren't from a Latino background, they're able to pick up those things during class when we're learning. And they're able to think about new ways of doing things and embracing each other, coming together and where we have Africans and African Americans and Latinos in one room. I think that's huge. being able to be in a space where I see this happening, that's like one of my favorite things.
I was born in Long Beach, California. I was raised in a Mexican family where Spanish was the only language spoken. Growing up, I thought I had to lose this language, but now because of me knowing Spanish, I was able to be more competitive. If I didn't have this aspect of me, then I wouldn't be who I am today.
I'm huge on relationship building. I want to be a mentor. I want to be a role model. And so that's one thing that I really like about my job, is that I'm able to impact so many people. I think giving students that upper hand where they say, okay, now I can speak Spanish on top of English, or in their future careers, they're able to connect with that person because of the experiences that they've had in the classroom. That's really powerful.